What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Panthers advice. Today, man, we're looking at this linebacker right here, Krys Barnes. I haven't done a lot of film study in the offseason, kind of slacked on that this year. So the fact I'm doing one right now tells you I'm pretty serious about this guy. I think there's a chance. Again, I think there's a chance, right? Depends on a few things, that he could be the starting Mike for the team. Okay. Trevor Wallace, I think, will take a big step. You got Roseboom, you got Claude. But Krys Barnes, when I watch him play, I'm like, this dude, there's potential there. He's only 27. All right. He's only 27. Let's take a look at some numbers real quick. So, gets drafted by Green Bay. It looks like 13 games played, 16, then 6 goes to Arizona, 16 games played, and then 17 full season. So, doesn't look to be like any big injury concerns based off what we've seen his last 5 seasons. As we jump into the film, okay, what are we getting? You're going to have him right here. Ooh, right there. Let's take a look what happens right here. Rams, they're going to run the play action. They're going to roll Stafford out. I like that right there. Now, is it a little bit late? Let's take a look at it from the end zone angle right here. Run it back, run it back, run it back. All right, so he's right here on this play. Let's take a look right here. They're going to run play action. Bang. Now, Stafford potentially could have gone over the top. Stafford's going to try and run out of bounds. I mean, no, he hits him. He puts 3 feet back in bounds right there. This man, Krys Barnes does not play around, man. I mean, look at that. Stafford's clearly in bounds. Okay, now, could he have potentially hit the receiver over the top right here? Yes, but it's 3rd and 1. Stafford's trying to get the first. Krys is like, I'm going to let you try, but just know I'm going to hit you either way, man. Let's keep it going. I like that right there. I don't think we saw that enough last year. Not saying I want penalties, unnecessary roughness, so on and so forth. But I like that everyone's kind of, jogging-ish a little bit. And here comes Krys, man. Hey, you can run if you want to, all right? Right here against the Niners, it's 3rd and 6. What are we looking at right here? Purdy's going to try and scramble. Woo! I like that. All right, let's take a look at it right here. End zone angle. So as we run this play back, the second Purdy thinks, all right, everyone's going to come in, bang, loop it back out, all right? Watch Krys right here, right? Krys, his only job right here is contain the middle. If Purdy takes off, right, bang, I'm going to peel off right there. And again, quarterbacks think they're going to run away from him. You're not. And the next play we're going to look at right here, Green Bay, it's 2nd and 8. Ball's on Arizona's 20. Looks like they're running that 21 personnel. Woo, there goes Krys again. So as you run this play back, this is interesting right here because Krys is on a little bit of a predicament. So it looks to be man coverage. All right, so depending on how these two run will depend how these two guys play that, which means Krys has to pick up the running back. All right, so Green Bay does a great job right here. Essentially kind of a rub concept, as you see right there. Bang. Give it to the running back. It could be receiver, but the running back in the backfield. So you want to get him the ball in space. Try and make the linebacker miss. But Krys right here does a good job, man. He doesn't let go. Almost over pursues to a point, but it's hard because the receivers and running backs, man, are quicker than they've ever been. Krys right here, man, he does a great job at this, right? Because, like I said before, they run that rub concept, right? Give it to the running back right there. Krys is all over that. I like it right there, man. I like it right there. Let's keep it going. Next play we're going to look at, all right, Krys, the mic once again. Keep your eye on him on this play. He's dropping back, dropping back. All right, the second Jordan Love starts to come up. Yes, he gets the first down, but he doesn't get anything more than really the yardage allowed. And what I mean by that is if you run this back real quick, all right, I'm not sure what Arizona was doing to begin with right here. 3rd and 5. Okay, it looks to be what, a cover 2 look. Maybe cover 6 on that backside man-to-man over here. Okay. But essentially was they just brought everybody deep. Okay, so that's going to back up all these guys, right? Then they're going to bring out their 2 delay routes. So now it's like we can't over pursue that, right? Otherwise, they're going to go over the top. Jordan Love sees, oh, wait, they're 10, 15 yards back. I'm going to try and run, right? So it puts the linebackers in a bit of a predicament. This is what happens when you only blitz 4, right? We saw this time and time again with Carolina, right? They blitz 4. Green Bay does a great job. Bang, we're going to shoot everybody deep. Couple of delay routes on the outside. If those are open, we'll hit them for the first down. If not, we'll just run. Next play right here might be one of my favorites. Just watch him right here. Just watch him right here. A little halfback toss. Whoo, I like that. I like that. All right, this tells me mono a mono, almost Oklahoma drills-esque, because we're going to pause it right here. All right, it's essentially Krys, right? Is that Josh Jacobs right there in the backfield? It's Krys and Jacobs one-on-one. Jacobs tries to make a move, and Krys is bringing him down. All right, I like this right here, man. Look at him fight through. All right, receiver's going to try and work second level, completely past the mic. I'm not sure why. We're going past the mic right there. But Krys, man, what a tackle right there. Let's keep it going. And now we got Green Bay again. Arizona's down by 21. And then bang. All right, there goes Krys again. Kind of playing cautious right here. Doesn't want to over pursue, right? If we over pursue right here, running back makes a little double move, bang. We're going to take that thing back inside. So he's cautious right there. The second that running back commits inside, there goes Krys, man, applying some heat. And here's another look at it from the end zone angle right here. So you saw Krys, run that back real quick. You saw Krys, he has to wait right here just to make sure, bang. The second he reads RPO pass, here he comes. He gives a hit, right? This man, let's take a look. Yeah. He's going to clock some people. He's going to clock some people. And right here against the Panthers, our last two plays, let's take a look at him right here. So you see, man, front and center. You see him on full display. And I believe this is one where he's going to go against Robert Hunt right here. Take a look at what happens. Him and Hunt one-on-one, shuts that block right there. Not too shabby, right? Not too shabby right here. You see Chuba was probably going to want to work backside to center right there. Potentially cut that thing back. And Krys, man, he's clogging up that hole. All right, that's play number one. Let's take a look at play number two right here. What are we looking at? Robert Hunt and Krys once again. And I hate to say it, but these two plays, man, Krys won, right? Now, don't get me wrong. Robert Hunt's still one of the best guards in the league. Let's not get that twisted. But once again, you got Krys right here, Robert Hunt right there. Watch and learn. All right, you see Krys right here. He's going to get his hands on those pads. He's just controlling him at that point. So I don't think this was Chuba right here. I think this was Boone. All right. Now, would Chuba have potentially cut that thing back and try to go one-on-one over here? Potentially, right? But what you have to like right here, run that back real quick. Nope. What you have to like is, like I said before, he gets his hands on those shoulder pads of Robert Hunt, and you're going to see he's going to control him, right? Robert Hunt still does a good job. Boone's going to try and go one-on-one right here. Hey, lower those shoulder pads. It's not going to work. Krys was all over that. So, what are my final thoughts on Krys Barnes? I think there's a chance he's the mic for the Panthers at some point. Would I be mad at Trevin Wallace's? Absolutely not. I think Trevin Wallace is the future. Christian Roseboom? No. But I think after watching, I think Krys might be it. And with that being said, I think it makes more sense for Trevin to play the jack anyway, right? The second inside linebacker who's going to pick up the running back, so on and so forth. It makes sense for Trevin Wallace to do that anyway. So I think you need a mic. It could be him. It could be Christian. It's going to be interesting, right? Krys Barnes is obviously a little bit late since we've already had Fan Fest, all the training camps, but we'll see what happens. With all that being said, that's going to wrap it up. Panthers advice is out. We'll probably see him play preseason fourth quarter, so keep your eye on Krys Barnes. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Preseason game is this Friday. Might have another video coming up. We'll see. I'll catch you guys later. Take it easy. Peace.